Hello, this is Dr. Rina Rani Ray. Today I'll be discussing on prebiotics. Now, what is prebiotics? Actually, before discussing about prebiotics, we must know the background. So, various types of microorganisms known as gut microbiota are inhabitants of the human gastrointestinal tract. It has been reported that there are 10 to the power 10 to 10 to the power 12 live microorganisms remain per gram in the human colon. The resident microbial groups in the stomach, small and large intestine are crucial for human health. The gut microbiota itself plays an active role in digestion of the carbohydrate, fat, and protein components of food. Bacteria residing in the large intestine play a particularly important role in the digestion of dietary fiber to yield short chain fatty acids such as acetate, propionate, and butyrate. So, prebiotics are the compounds in food that induce the growth or activity of good or beneficial microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi. The most common example is in the gastrointestinal tract, where prebiotics can alter the composition of organisms in the gut microbiome. So, probiotics are actually specialized plant fibers. They act like fertilizers that stimulate the growth of healthy bacteria in the gut. Prebiotics are found in many fruits and vegetables, especially those that contain complex carbohydrates such as fiber and resistant starch. So, in one word, the function of prebiotics is to enhance the growth of good bacteria remaining in our gut, like bifidobacteria, lactobacillus, that is the probiotic bacteria, and this in turn will cause improvement of digestion and strengthening of immune system. Let's go back to the history. So the concept of prebiotic was introduced by Gibson and Rutherford in 1995. They found that non-digestible food ingredients that beneficially affect the host by selectively stimulating the growth and activity of one or a limited number of bacteria in colon that can improve host health. So the properties of prebiotics are the limited hydrolysis and absorption in the upper gastrointestinal tract, the selective growth stimulation of beneficial bacteria in the colon, and immunostimulation, and finally stimulation of beneficial flora that promotes colonization resistance. Regarding the sources of these prebiotics, there are two types of sources, endogenous and exogenous. The main and only endogenous source is the human breast milk, which contains galacto-oligosaccharides. It can increase the growth of bifidobacteria, the bacterial population in breastfed infants, which strengthens the infant immune system and helps to establish a healthy intestinal microbiota composition in newborn. Regarding the exogenous one, the indigestible carbohydrate compounds, the fermentable dietary fiber is the exogenous source. It can be found in oats and barley with beta glucans, fruit and berries with pectins, seeds with gums, onions with inulin and oligofructose, bananas and legumes with resistant starch. So there are top 10 food containing prebiotics are the raw chicory root, which contains about 64.6% of the prebiotic fiber. Then raw Jerusalem artichoke, that is containing 31.5% of this prebiotic one. Then raw dandelion greens, having 24.5% of prebiotic fiber. Our very known raw garlic, it contains 17.5% of fiber. Then raw leek, containing 11.7%. Raw onion is containing 8.6% of fiber, and 5% of prebiotic fibers are being contained in cooked onion, then raw asparagus and raw wheat bran, and only 1% is found in banana. Regarding the classification of prebiotic, the prebiotic compound can be classified as a disaccharides, oligosaccharides, and resistant starch. The main disaccharides are the lactitol, lactulols, and xylitol. The oligosaccharides are the oligosaccharides, FOS, galacto-oligosaccharides, GOS, inulin, xylo-oligosaccharides, XOS, and soybean oligosaccharides, and finally we are getting the resistant starch. There are several researches going on throughout the world on prebiotics, and the main two research outcomes are: the first one, the prebiotics may be beneficial to inflammatory bowel disease or IBD or Crohn's disease through production of short chain fatty acids as nourishment for colonic walls and mitigation of ulcerative colitis symptoms. And the second one is the genetically modified plants have been created in research labs with upregulated inulin production. Now, the production of prebiotics can be done through direct extraction of natural oligosaccharides from plants, or by controlled hydrolysis of natural polysaccharides, or through enzymatic synthesis using hydrolysis and or glycosyl transferases from plant or of microbial origin. So there are different methods. In short, the FOS can be produced through hot water extraction from chicory root followed by enzymatic hydrolysis. GOS can be formed through enzymatic lactose transgalactosylation. XOS can be formed through enzymatic hydrolysis of plant xylans. Then isomalto-oligosaccharides can be formed through transglucosylation of liquefied starch, and so. Regarding the prebiotic market, we can find that the trend in using the prebiotics is ever increasing from 2012 to 2020, and the market is showing this type of increase. And the global prebiotic market volume share by application reveals that apart from the others, the North America and the Europe, these are the main users of prebiotics. There are some problems with use of prebiotics, like overdose can cause intestinal bloating, pain, flatulence, or diarrhea. Then they are not as potent as antibiotics in eliminating specific pathogens, and must overcome the need for prebiotic bacteria to compete with intestinal bacteria that are well established in their niche. Some food application of prebiotics are they can be used meat as a meat products, that is as a fat replacement, texture, stability, and fiber. Then as a soup and sauces, sugar supplement replacement and prebiotics. Salad dressings, that is a fat replacement and mouthfeel. Table spreads and butter products, the fat replacement, texture and spreadability, stability, and also as a prebiotic. Baby food, the functionality are the texture, body and mouth fill, fiber and stability, and as also prebiotic. Then breakfast cereals and extruded snacks, the sugar replacement, crispiness and expansion, fiber and prebiotic. And the fillings, there's a fat or sugar replacement, texture, and the prebiotic. Now, one thing must be mentioned, that there is another term which is very much related to prebiotic, that is probiotic. So what is probiotic? We must know, although we were going to discuss it in our next video. So prebiotics are defined as non-living, non-digestible special form of fiber or carbohydrates, whereas probiotics are referred as a live, active microorganisms that when administered in adequate amount will have beneficial effects to its host. Prebiotics in the powder form of prebiotics can survive heat, cold, and acid, whereas the probiotics, as they are the live microorganisms, they are naturally more fragile, vulnerable to heat, and may be killed over time. Prebiotics perform their role by nourishing the bacteria that live in the intestines, whereas probiotics fight the harmful bacteria species present in the gut. So, in conclusion, we can say that the probiotics are the dietary fiber and are non-digestible natural food components and have the ability to stimulate intestinal flora. Actually, prebiotics are the food for probiotic, that is the microorganisms. For the good microorganisms, prebiotics can be used as a food. The products of their degradation initiated by the colonic bacteria are the causes of the beneficial effect that they provide. They are found naturally in some fruits and vegetables, as we have discussed, like asparagus, onion, garlic leeks, etc. So these are the good bacteria in our microbiome, and these are the enhanced microbiome, and the food or the enhancer, that is the dietary fiber, and these are nothing but the prebiotics. So this is all about the prebiotic. In the next video, we will be discussing about probiotic. So thank you.